Well, folks, got the new dehydrator just a couple of days ago, and it's time to test it out. I got my cutting board set aside here, a couple of knives on it, and I got a nice big bowl of hot peppers. There's a couple different varieties in here, but these little guys right here, I took out a frozen pizza a few days ago, and I like really hot, spicy food. I chopped up, I think it was 3 of these little guys, spread it out on a pizza, threw on a few mushrooms, some tomatoes, some cheese, a little bit of extra sauce to complement what was already there. And oh my God, it was hot. I love spicy food, but I had to pick half of them off. It was that hot. Today, I used 3 more of them in a stock pot full of soup, or 3/4 full. That's what's left. And even just with that in it, man, they were hot. So I'm going to take the rest of these guys. I'm going to chop them up into little pieces, put them on the dehydrator, set them aside for later, and those are going to be used going through the fall and winter and maybe even next year's camping season. I'll use them up mainly in soups and sauces, stuff like that. I'm going to put the camera on the tripod now and we'll get it going. Hey folks, so talked a little bit about what we're doing. What we're doing is taking these really hot peppers. There's, like I mentioned, there's a couple of different varieties in here. I don't have the little tag saying what the actual name is, but these little buggers are freaking hot. I learned from past experience when doing the really hot peppers, most peppers are fine, but the really hot ones, doing this years ago, got a slight little nick in my hand, must have been, or fingers, couldn't, like no obvious cut, just slight thing in the skin, got some of the pepper in kind of inside, and just like burning feeling in the fingertips for like 2 days. And I also had like a little speck of juice from the pepper hit one eye, and it was stinging like crazy for an hour. I rinsed it out with milk, etc. Learned the hard way. What we're going to do is use safety glasses. I've done this before, and rubber gloves. And what we're going to do, I'm going to use the gloves in a minute. I'm just going to chop up 1 or 2 here for the camera, and then I'm going to turn the camera off. Actually, I'm going to wash my hands first before I touch the camera. Wash my hands, turn the camera off, come back, cut up a bunch of these, because you don't want to watch me cut up a whole pile of these. That'd be way too boring, and I don't want to be boring. I'm going to get them all cut up, and I'm going to get them loaded on the dehydrator. We'll talk about the process a little bit more. I'm going to put on my glasses so I can see what I am doing. I'll move these guys over here, because they don't need to be over here. So what I'm going to do is, I like to just slice them up around the side here to get the core out. Deposit that guy in there. And just going to flip them over. Most peppers I would not cut quite as small as I'm going to cut these guys. When I go to use them later on, like I said, they're going to be used in soups and sauces rather than have bigger pieces which are very hot. I want small pieces where they're going to kind of cook in, blend in a little bit, not be too overpowering. You'll get the flavor and the heat, but it'll be spread out a little bit more, if that makes sense. So we're going to cut them in fairly small pieces. Wash my hands here real quick. Now the camera the GoPro is on the tripod. I'm not going to take that off. I'm just going to bring it over here to give you a better look at the size of the peppers. Just like this. So they're pretty small. So I got that bowl. I got to do a bunch of those. I got 5 trays on the dehydrator. I'm going to get it geared up to get a bunch of these. I'm not going to do them all. Some of them I'm going to put in the freezer for later. Not the freezer, the fridge to use over the next few days. Anyways, I'll be back in a bit once I get a little further along. Okay, so just to review, these are very hot peppers. I think I'm in the frame here. Just to review, these are very hot peppers. So I cut them up into smaller pieces than I normally would. Going to get them dehydrated, put them aside for future use, mainly in sauces, soups, stews, things like that. Let the heat sort of dissipate throughout the whatever I'm cooking up. And the other peppers I just showed you, I'll use those in bigger pieces, but that's for later on. This is all loaded up, this 5 trays full of peppers, finely cut. And we still have lots left in the bowl, and there's still a few more in the garden waiting to be harvested. I gotta go cover those up shortly as soon as I finish shooting this video. And there may be frost tonight, so I'll cover those up, get the rest harvested in the next couple of days along with the rest of my tomatoes. How long does this take to dehydrate, you ask? Well, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked. It takes until they're done. There's no set time. It could be 10 hours, could be 12 hours. You won't know until they're completely dry, kind of crisp to the touch. You can snap them. You want no moisture at all in them. Once it's done right, they are good to go for years. Put them in a jar, put a lid on them, and keep them sealed up. I'll keep them in a dark place, and I'll be using them off and on for quite some time. When I'm making up a dish with these guys, I'm only going to be using very few, unless they are hot. When I was finished cutting them up, I was actually sweating. I can still feel it in my nose just from the fumes they give off. These are the hot ones, guys. Use with caution. Anyways, we'll be back to show you the rest of the process after they dehydrate tomorrow. I'll shoot the rest of this, we'll put them away. I'll get this edited and get it up for you guys. Talk to you all soon. And here we have some finished dehydrated hot peppers. Hey folks, so we're back. It is Tuesday morning. Actually, it's Tuesday early afternoon. Still on my coffee. Obviously, I need more. I let my dehydrator run overnight. Checked it first thing this morning. It looked like everything was done. I let it go for an extra hour just to make sure everything's crisp. You can snap them, hear them snap when you bend them. I'm trying not to touch them too much with my bare hands right now. They are still very hot. As we mentioned yesterday, these are going to be labeled as extra hot. I will be using these very sparingly when I use them in my cooking, mainly in soups and sauces like I had mentioned. Tilt one up, give you a little bit better look. Pardon my phone going off. I'm in the process of selling a sea kayak right now. So these have shrunk down quite a bit. They are very light. They are all going to pack down into a little mason jar. I have a 1 liter mason jar here and a ½ liter mason jar here. Stainless steel funnel. I'm going to scoop them all out into this guy. If it's less than half a jar, I'm just going to put them into this one, fill it up nicely. I'm not going to get you guys to watch me do this. That'd be kind of boring. And like I mentioned earlier, I don't want to be boring. I am going to use a pair of rubber gloves as I do this. Don't want to get moisture from my hands on the dehydrated peppers. I also don't want to get the hot stuff from the peppers into my hands for obvious reasons. I'll be back after these are loaded up and we'll chat a little bit more. Okay folks, so we're back. Here's what we have. Like I thought, they will easily fit into the smaller mason jar. So we're just going to transfer those over now. Taking off the rubber gloves, dispose of those, wipe down the counter a little bit. The dehydrator trays are stacked empty. I will put those in the sink and wash those in soapy water shortly, let them dry. They'll be ready for next time. The dehydrated hot peppers. This will be going into the sink for washing as well. As will this little guy. So all those peppers that I did yesterday, 3/4 of a 500 milliliter mason jar. Bring it over here for a close-up look for you all. There they are. I'm going to label these as being very hot because they are. And these will keep pretty much indefinitely. I'll be keeping them in the food storage room that I have down in the basement. I still have some jars of dehydrated stuff from a few years ago down there actually. And what else can I say? Yeah, I'll be using them in soups and sauces. If I get on any late season camping trips, these will be coming with me. I like to take various dehydrated ingredients, make my own meals in the field, as well as use this stuff here in the kitchen throughout the year. And yeah, I've got about 40 other videos up on dehydrating, food preservation. I'll try and link that playlist up above here somewhere at the end of the video. And I'll be back doing more of this stuff soon. I have a big load of peppers in a bowl right behind you. Let me grab those. Hold on 1 second here. I have a big bowl of poblano peppers here as well. These guys, these are labeled as being moderately hot. They're not that bad. I have more in the garden I still have to harvest. I'll probably be loading this up either later today. Let me get back in focus here. So I got more of these in the garden as well. I've already used quite a few. More to come. Try and get this loaded up again later today. Do a batch of these and get them put down as well. I'm going to be using some of these and more of the hot peppers that are in the fridge. I'm going to try and make up a pasta sauce in the next couple of days. Put that down for the winter. And we'll just go from there. If you have any questions on food dehydrating in general, let me know in the comments down below. If you have anything in particular you'd like to see me talk about on dehydrating, let me know in the comments down below. Please like this video, share, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do so. That helps with the YouTube algorithms, trying to get it built back up now that I'm back up to speed. On this channel I have videos covering my canoeing, kayaking, cycling, bikepacking, a little bit of woodworking stuff. I'm a paddle builder as well, and a lot of food dehydrating. I have another channel I was working on earlier this morning, which is why this video is so late going out. That one's a new channel I started up a little over a month ago covering NHL hockey, but that's not of interest in general to the YouTubers watching this sort of video. So anyways, if you're still here, you're awesome. Let me know in the comments that you're still here. I'll be putting this together, get it up very shortly, and I'll be back to talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching.